Today, the problem with the pharmaceutical industry is that its primary focus lies on its shareholders and profit rather than the well-being of the patients. From the releasing of not fully functional drugs or drugs with side effects to the extreme marginal increases of prices, these corporations can do anything to maximize their profits within a blink of an eye. But you may wonder that how did we get here and how can they still get away with it? In the past decade, the pharmaceutical industry has experienced a significant trend of large-scale consolidations. Big corporations have been merging and acquiring each other, leading to the creation of dominant monopolies in the market. As a result, now only a few companies hold most of the market share, granting them substantial control over drug prices, research and development, as well as regulatory policies. For example, the American giants Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, the Swiss giant Roche, and the French giant called Sanofi have a combined worth of over $1 trillion, almost 5% of the world's greatest economy. Another key component in the complete monopolization of the pharmaceutical industry is the use of patents. A patent is a special right given to inventors that stops others from copying, using, or selling their invention. In the pharmaceutical industry, patents can protect things like a drug's formula, how it's made, or what it's used for. With a patent, a company has a monopoly on the drug for about 20 years. This lets them set high prices and keep competitors out. But when the patents end, other companies can make cheaper versions of the drug, which ends their position. So in short,
on your marks, get set, white guys, go!
I have high hopes for this. I had a Cliff Bar before we started.
Everybody else!
Phew, thought they were coming after us.
But most of the time, drug companies won't let that happen and will try different methods to extend their patents, such as making small changes to the drug and obtaining new patents for it, or suing possible competitors.
So why should this be an expensive drug?
So there's a number of reasons, but probably the first reason I'd go through is the one I walked through earlier that we don't talk about a lot, which is our shareholders expect me to make as much money as possible for them. And that's the ugly, dirty truth.
The guy you saw was Martin Shkreli. Martin Shkreli is a key character showing the potential abuse of patent laws in the industry. Shkreli's company, during Pharmaceuticals, infamously raised the price of therapy, a drug used to treat parasitic infection, from $13.50 to $750 per pill overnight in 2015. This was possible because Turing had the exclusive rights to that drug, which had been around for over 60 years and had no generic competitors. The story of Martin Shkreli really exposes how broken the system is. It highlights how the pharmaceutical industry is solely focused on making money. He defended himself by saying that he hiked up these prices because big companies and insurance firms can easily absorb the cost. So why should he or anyone else be concerned about his actions? I must admit that I can see some validity in that argument, but the truth lies somewhere in between. Ultimately, especially in Europe, where health insurance companies aren't that popular, it's the taxpayers who end up bearing the burden of these price increases. In the end, it's the taxpayer who are paying him. But he's not the only one, and not even the worst. Those prices are increased weekly, and nobody ever says a thing. Companies, especially in the US, can manipulate those prices as much as they like because of the lack of government regulation. And with the buyouts of small companies and with the corruption of the government, they can do whatever they want with those prices, and as long as the many fear the power of the few, there will be no changes. The food industry has long been criticized for creating products that are intentionally addictive and unhealthy, all in the name of increasing profits. This has led to a population that is increasingly overweight and unhealthy. According to the World Health Organization, in 2016, more than 1.9 billion adults aged 18 and older were overweight. Of these, over 650 million adults were obese. So how did we get here, and what are these companies doing to make such dangerous products? One key factor is the use of chemicals and additives to make manufacturing cheaper and to enhance the flavor and the texture, which can also have negative health effects. For example, high fructose corn syrup is a commonly used sweetener in many processed foods, despite studies linking it to increased risk of obesity, diabetes, and other health problems. Similarly, artificial trans fats, which are often used to extend the shelf life of products, have been linked to increased risk of heart disease and other health issues. But it is important to mention that using these ingredients shouldn't lead to such serious consequences if we were deliberate on what to buy and what not to buy. So it's not just the ingredients that are the problem. It's also the marketing tactics these companies use to sell their products. One of the most insidious tactics is targeting children, who are often the most vulnerable to sugary, colorful snacks. Companies use cartoon characters with colorful patterns and other marketing tactics, such as free toys and celebrities, to create an image around their products, leading children to beg their parents for them. There are also small details in order to grab the children's attention. For example, the popular cereal brand called Fruit Loops features a character named Toucan Sam who always looks down at them, leading children to do the same and stare at the product, increasing their desire for it. But how do they get the adults? Disturbing tactic is the use of deceptive labeling and marketing claims. For example, companies claim their products as containing nutritional benefits when there is none, or containing different kinds of iron and vitamins that are no good for the body. One of my favorites is that green sticker that says made with natural ingredients. I know you've seen thousands of them. How many are actually made with real fruit and not real fruit concentration? And we are still not done. Some companies will market their products as all natural or low fat, despite containing high amounts of sugar or unhealthy ingredients. This can lead consumers to believe they are making a healthy choice when in reality they are consuming something that can be harmful to their health. For example, in 2018, TikTok faced controversy when it was revealed that the packaging did not include the amount of sugar it had actually contained, despite being marketed as sugar-free. The company had taken advantage of a legal loophole that allowed products containing less than 0.5 grams of sugar per serving to be labeled as sugar-free. This led to many consumers unknowingly consuming sugar, which could be harmful for those with dietary restrictions or other health conditions like diabetes. It's also worth noting that there have been several almost war crime-like actions in the food industry. For example, in the 1970s, Nestle has begun an aggressive advertising campaign in Africa for pregnant mothers to use baby formula instead of breastfeeding their children. The ad stated that it was much healthier, safer, and overall better for the babies, and they even went as far as paying doctors to advertise their formula for the mothers. They also gave out free samples to the mothers, but when the mothers ran out of baby formula, they couldn't produce milk and couldn't offer the product, so they tried to dilute the products, which led to either babies not receiving enough nutrition, or in worst case scenarios, the water was also contaminated, leaving the poor babies poisoned and underfed. Estimates say that millions of babies died from malnutrition, and children whose bodies have wasted away until that all is left is a big head on top of the shivered body of an old man. Fast fashion refers to the high-speed production and consumption of clothing, prioritizing current fashion trends over durability and comfort. It involves the quick turnover of inexpensive pieces rather than investing in long-lasting ones. The fashion industry is known for its unethical and unsustainable practices, which have devastating consequences for both workers and the environment. One of the most pressing issues in the fast fashion industry is the exploitation of workers. Many workers in developing countries are paid extremely low wages and forced to work in unsafe and unhealthy conditions. They may work long hours with no breaks and may not even receive a living wage. In addition, child labor is often used in the production of fast fashion items, children as young as 6 or 7 working in factories and sweatshops. Another major problem with fast fashion is its contribution to the environmental pollution. The industry is responsible for massive amounts of waste, with clothing items often discarded after only a few wears. In addition, the production of fast fashion items involves the use of toxic chemicals and large quantities of water, which contribute to the air and water pollution. Furthermore, the fashion industry has a significant carbon footprint as a result of the transportation and production of clothing items. The carbon emissions from the fashion industry are estimated to be higher than those of the aviation and shipping industries combined. It also promotes a culture of overconsumption, with consumers encouraged to constantly buy new clothing items in order to keep up with the latest trends. This has created a throwaway culture where clothing is seen as disposable, with very little thought given to the environmental or social impact of the production and disposal of these items. Key example for this is Shein. Shein is an ultra-fast fashion company which has no physical stores and operates solely in the online presence. It has got several factories throughout China, with employees getting a fraction of the minimum wage for longer than the average working hours, but its exact details and locations are mostly kept as a secret. Shein tries to keep its operations a secret for a reason, but what we do know is how it functions and why is it so popular. The number one reason is social media. The company has invested millions into different influencers such as Rita Ora, Katy Perry and Lil Nas X to promote the brand and engage customers to consume. But the biggest part of its online presence is on TikTok with the Shein hauls.
Bitch, I'm a boss. I'm a bitch and a boss. I'ma shine like gloss. I'm a bitch. I'm a boss. I'm a bitch and a boss. I'ma shine like gloss. I'm a bitch. I'm a boss. I'm a bitch and a boss. I'ma shine like gloss. I'm a bitch. I'm a boss. I'm a bitch and a boss. I'ma shine like gloss.
These videos contain footage of what they ordered and what they've got, and these videos can go quite viral on TikTok because of the amount of clothing for such a penny. This creates the most profitable marketing campaign for Shein, resulting in the company's massive expansion. But come on Gabe, you know we can't afford all these brand names. Give us an alternative. Well, I give you two very simple words. Used clothes. Hunting for used clothes has several benefits, but let me just mention some.
Monday left me broken. Tuesday I was through with hoping.
Downsides? No thanks. Thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions how to improve my videos, please feel free to share with me in the comments. Have a great day.